Northbound on I-75, lots of trucks from Pike Energy are headed out of Florida and presumably into the danger zone of Hurricane Irene. It's Saturday morning, August 27th, and Irene is due to make landfall today in North Carolina. I am headed up the S-Line trace and then on to Folkestone later today. First stop happens in Hawthorne, and extra southbound out of Waycross. Of note is the second unit, a C40-8, still in CSX stealth gray livery.
CSXT XO98, 26, CSXT engine 8831, got a cleared immediate southbound, CSXT 8831 out.
The town of Hawthorne is still fast asleep on this hot August morning. Like so many small towns, the railroad has forgotten about Hawthorne, and so has the main highway. A mural serves as a window back to those glory days, now long gone. Next catch did not come until I got to Crawford.
CSXTQ 453, 27 leading 8730 clear, north end of Crawford, southbound direction, 453 out.
The SD60I and the leased SD40-2 were unusual for this Miami-bound train and brought out a lot of South Florida rail fans later on in the day. Here at Crawford, the Norfolk Southern's GS&F crosses the Seaboard. Once known as the Jacksonville Bypass, it's now the CSX Callahan Sub. After finishing some chores in Folkestone, I drift back south and make a stop at Baldwin. There was nothing on the radio to indicate anything was coming, but there was some action here. Two newly cast diamonds lay at the ready. These are the first offspring of the Sunrail deal. CSX is about to double-track the old Florida Railroad right across the Tallahassee Sub, the Sunrail money paying for the improvements. Here at Baldwin and at points west, artifacts of the old Seaboard airline are still serving the railroad. At South End Live Oak, Y-pattern color lights that protected the Gulf Wind, Mail and Express, and Red Ball Freight number 82 are still getting it done for trains like the red-hot Q180. The yard at Baldwin is silent. Tracks used only for storage these days. The one-time 24/7 operation is all gone. Weeds now grow between the rails. The yard is almost barren of activity now, and hobos like Swamp Dog know it. He came up to me asking for a handout, and in exchange I asked for a primer on hoboing.
First thing is you got to look down that tower down there. Watch out for them. You got a white Blazer or a white Bronco come by, what they call the Bull. That's the train police. They're going to watch you. Now you got them big black cars, what they call gondolas. They're hard to climb in and out of. I don't ride box cars. You got to spike the door. Make sure you wedge it open. That door shuts up. You're locked in there.
What's your favorite ride?
The old white hoppers. You crawl up in there, and I'll sleep like a baby, as long as they don't bang them up. And this here used to be what they call a hump yard, where they shoot the cars off and they bang up and hook up. If you're sleeping, you're gonna get your head banged when that car hits. But this here's the Baldwin Yard. It's 20 miles out of Jacksonville. Come out of Ocala, what they call the SJ line. CSX runs up here. You get it from here. You go to Tallahassee. You go to Pensacola, and from there you go to Seaboard Yard, Mobile. And you just get on it and go, man. I mean, I got a 4-pack of beer. I got a pack of smokes, and I'm ready to go. I might be sitting here half the night. I got 3 hot dogs, I got dinner. I'm ready to go.
I'm not sure how long it was going to take Swamp Dog to get to Mobile, but he didn't appear to have a schedule to keep, and I have to admit I was a little jealous.
Is that DQ 441 27 7 2 track clear Maxville 7.
Moving south on the S-line, I managed to set up at the overpass at Maxville, just in time for Q441 on its daily run from Waycross to Tampa. The Seaboard double-tracked this piece of its main line long ago in order to keep things moving. There was a great deal of industry here at one time, including steel plants, lumber and pulpwood mills, rock mines, and assorted retail customers. The second track allowed the local switchers to stay out of the way of hot freights and crack passenger trains. The signals for the 2 tracks are side by side in typical Seaboard style.
SXN 128 got approach medium to start holdout, track number 1, with 865 south out.
At the southern end of the 26-mile double track is Starke, still home to the Starke switcher. These days, a Jeep 40 slug set lash-up and a shoving platform. Not far behind 441 was N128, a coal train for Progress Energy's Crystal River plant. A quick stop at the Starke station to pick up a crew member, and off to the 1E sub to Newberry, where a Florida Northern Railroad crew will take it on to the plant.
N128 20 engine CSX 865 medium clear 1E junction track 1 southbound out.
Following the S-line into Ocala, the radio stops me with news of a work train coming north. The signal at milepost S723.3 is an automatic block signal that apparently is approach lit.
CSX W99 northbound lead motor CSX 8022 has a clear signal distance. Spark.
W099 is evidently a funeral train headed for the scrapper. The now tiny-seeming ACL flip-top hoppers were once everywhere in the Bone Valley. This may be the last of them. Moving on to Ocala, the radio was quiet, but on a trip earlier in the month, I caught the Florida Northern switching there, and on a Sunday. The Florida Northern and sister Florida Midland use engines from the sister Florida Central, all Pinsley companies. The predominant engines are CF7s, unique 4-axle beasts fashioned from EMD F7 units. In the 1970s, the Santa Fe was in desperate need of 4-axle freight power and typically in short supply of money. So rather than buying new engines, they took their aging F7s, removed the streamlined car body, built a new underframe and new general-purpose road switcher hood, and created the converted F7. 10 years later, Santa Fe sold off all of its CF7s to short lines like Florida Central. Today, these old soldiers are doing a good job of hauling these rock hopper loads off the storage track at Ocala Siding and bringing them into the Florida Northern Yard. With darkness falling on the S-line, I'm headed for the barn in Tampa. But before we go, here's my catch of the Amtrak 156 Heritage engine. Maybe the most photographed and videographed locomotive in Florida this year. I find these Heritage painted units interesting because it's so rare to see GE Genesis units in anything but Amtrak's Blue Wave livery. In Tampa, Florida, this is Danny Harmon, out.